Hey guys, and welcome to round 1 official highlights of the 6-player career mode. We have got 6 guys racing in the Red Bulls, Mercedes and the Ferraris. You can see them on the screen now. They are Matthew Orange, Joshua Anderson, Oliver Glazebrook, Jake Walmsley, Bobby Hunter and Joseph Willows. Red Bull have got Orange and Anderson, Mercedes are Glazebrook and Willows, and Ferrari are Walmsley and Hunter. Now, in the first race, we decided not to do qualifying. This was down to the fact we wanted to see whether it would be more fair if we started at the back and made our way to the front. We then decided afterwards we wanted to do qualifying because we wanted to see our paces and obviously make it more realistic and more like a career mode, because in most career modes you would qualify to see your paces. So many people are going to say, well, Ollie, you're in the Mercedes, so you're going to be, have more of an advantage. That's not going to be the case. Trust me, there is going to be some moments when these guys are going to be faster than me, because sometimes I struggle at tracks no matter what car I am in. So that's why there's an NA on the side. Sorry about the super soft tyre thing, which is a little bit of a mistake. It should be the soft tyre thing, but next time around I will edit that. That's the only mistake I could find through this. But guys, please, we've got 15 laps to go. We've got some official highlights, but we've got no qualifying because of the fact there was no time set. But guys, it's time for the race. Open of every race weekend since watching Formula 1 at least, this is the big one. This is where you want to make a brilliant start. You want to show what you're worth. We've got some great drivers sitting on the grid. We've got 6 guys who all feel that they can win the World Championship. We've got points of view from Matt Orange, Ollie Glazebrook, Jake Walmsley and Joe Willows, and of course Cosmos Racing, also known as Joshua Anderson. We've got 5 lights and we are away here. Joe Willows getting off to a fantastic start compared to the Ferraris of Best Bob and Petrolhead though. Ollie Glazebrook getting off to a great start as well, but he gets held up by Max Chilton. Pit Matt then pulls away from it. Going into now, we've got Danny Kvyat up ahead of him. There goes Felipe Massa. He hits Massa in the rear end. That's going to give drivers a chance to go through. There's Joshua Anderson who's up the inside, and he's just, I think he might have slowed down a little bit there. Now Pit Matt is going to have to try and go through. I'm going to continue to call them their account names, and there, for some reason, Joshua Anderson in a war along with Joe Willows, and I think that might also be Jake Walmsley's got away with it, and that must have been Bobby Hunter of the Ferrari then. So yeah, Walmsley in the cockpit cam, he did have a few issues with his game where he couldn't switch out of it, and Glazebrook is up into P11 now, and there goes Walmsley, and I don't know who it was. I think that might have been Checo Perez there going into a wall, so that puts Glazebrook up into P9. I think no, it's not Perez, because Perez is now ahead in P8. Glazebrook now going on down to the standard fuel mixer, up the inside. Perez going a little bit deep now, which gives him better traction for Glazebrook now. He's going to try and hook it around the outside now, getting on the grass. He's going side by side with Checo. This is great battling, side by side. I don't know, Checo has just squeezed him a little bit there. Checo squeezes him to the wall. He doesn't have any traction, and he's got no understeer to get around that corner, and he's had to go straight on. Here's a replay of what happened though. Cosmos off to a decent start actually, down into the rear braking zone. Now he brakes, he has to avoid Marcus Ericsson. He makes the right decision, then he pulls over to allow drivers through. Now he gets onto the he gets too much acceleration there. He loses the back end on the grass or the tarmac, and he takes out Bobby Hunter and Joe Willows. Joshua Anderson will be a little bit disappointed with that, and I don't think there'll be an investigation. You can see he had good intentions at heart, but he did in fact take out Willows and Bobby Hunter. So he asked the drivers what they wanted, and they felt it did affect their races, but as they finished ahead of him, it was okay. And you can see there, Bobby Hunter just got taken out just got completely wiped out. And here is Jake Walmsley's incident with Nico Hulkenberg. It was, you can see, I think he just didn't realise he was there, but you could tell from Glazebrook's footage that something, obviously there was a little, you couldn't really tell because of the he couldn't tell on his mirrors. If you can see on the left hand side, one of his mirrors is broken, and the mirrors aren't the most reliable thing in the world to be having your view on. So there goes Cosmos, and you can see now side by side with Willows, neither of them have front wing. There goes Bobby Hunter, and up the inside goes Walmsley. It's a battle of the non-front wing drivers. Maldonado's obviously had a DNF now. Obviously there must have been some form of incident that we couldn't see, obviously being an AI car. Now Pit Matt, Matthew Orange there going up the inside of I believe that was Jenson Button, and that puts him up an extra position now. Side by side, Petrolhead and Willows. Petrolhead obviously getting ahead of him. That's Jake Walmsley. I'm going to say this a lot, so I'm going to run you through who is who. So OTG is Ollie Glazebrook. John W207 is Joseph Willows. Pit Matt is Matt Orange. Joshua Anderson is Cosmos Racing. and then petrol head is Jake Walmsley, and best Bob is Bobby Hunter. So yeah, here we have now Glazebrook. He's on the back of Kamui Kobayashi. The Mercedes powered engine is going to be a lot more superior, but sadly his teammate is down in what is pretty much smack bang last. So he's going to have to try and get past Jake Walmsley as quickly as possible. You know, that's going to be a bit of a disappointing thing for the Mercedes, but they've got one driver who's making his way through the grid. And speaking of drivers who are making their way through the grid, Jules Bianchi up in P4, but Matthew Orange coming down behind him in the Red Bull, breezes up him before he even has to brake. Just the speed of that Renault engine seems to have an advantage over someone for once now. And Glazebrook goes in a very similar position round Kamui Kobayashi. So they dispatch of two low-ranking teams, giving them less points than they would originally have been hoping. A lot higher expectations than you would expected, but you've got to jump now to the battle with Willows and Walmsley. Willow's getting a great exit out of that corner. Walmsley on the grass now. So Will Walmsley, I believe, yes, he has changed into the T-cam during his pit stop, so he's dealt with that issue. He couldn't do it manually. His pad wouldn't. The pad on the wheel wouldn't allow him. So like the game pad on his wheel wouldn't allow him to do it. As Matt Orange sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far. So really, really good from Matt Orange there. But you can see Willows has dropped off a significant amount of pace there because he's made a mistake with trying to get past Walmsley now. And here we have Matthew Orange going up the inside of Romain Grosjean for a podium position. The first driver to get a podium position now of the 6 drivers will be following, and that's him up into P3. Next up, John Eric Verne of the sister team. Up the inside goes Glazebrook on Jenson Button, and that's him up into P6. So next up is Bianchi, who Matt Orange dispatched of so easily in his attempt. There you have Matt Orange cutting back. He's 1.3 seconds up in the first sector now. Getting a corner cut there. Doesn't gain anything from it. He's trying to go up, and there goes Glazebrook doing a similar thing. He doesn't get a corner cutting warning. He goes past Jules Bianchi, but Matthew Orange gets past John Eric Verne on straight line speed. The sister team can't deal with it. Now we have got Jake Walmsley now, who gets past Max Chilton without even hesitating. So that's him nicely done, and that's a good bit of moving, good move there. And now you have Joseph Willows doing a very similar thing, getting past Max Chilton. Lots of overtaking from the drivers today. The AI aren't that competitive compared to them, but you can see Glazebrook getting a great exit out of that corner, up into rich fuel mixture now. He's got some pace there. Grosjean's a little bit ahead of him as he goes 2.2 seconds faster than his previous lap, putting him in a purple position where he goes fastest. And you can see with Matt Orange now, as he goes into the corner, just losing out his position there. And there goes Glazebrook, 4 tenths up in the first sector, so he's only 9 tenths on Grosjean now. So he's definitely finding some pace in this Mercedes that is just something that Joe Willows clearly isn't on. The petrol head now going around the outside. Grosjean doesn't give him any room. He doesn't want to give up. He holds it. He does get some dirty tyres in it. It might damage his tyres just a little bit, but overall it's kept him in a good position. Cosmos, the first time we've seen him since his little incident with at the start. Now up the inside of Adrian Suttle. That is a great move. If he can hold this now, that would be a very nice move. He goes a little bit wide. Does that gain him an advantage? That's questionable, of course, now. But we're going to give it to him. It was a great move up the inside. If he would have held that cleanly, then that would have been one of the best moves of the day by far. But sadly, he doesn't get it completely cleanly. He does track extend a little bit, but we're not going to take that away from him. It's a lovely move anyway. Now, Joe Willows is actually dropping quite a significant amount of pace on Jake Walmsley there. But then you see Glazebrook coming through the fast left-hand corner where Joshua Anderson made his mistake, and he goes a little bit of track extend as well now. But he's purple in the middle sector, Glazebrook now, and there goes John Eric Verne up the inside. That's him up into P3 now. The guy in P1. Valtteri Bottas. You might have noticed Bottas getting the first pole of the season with none of the drivers taking part in qualifying. Matt Orange goes fastest in the fastest that lap now as Cosmos in P14 trying to get something, trying to get a good battle now. We've got side-by-side comparison of Joseph Willows and Jake Walmsley now. Will Willows get the move? It's going to be an interesting one. These two have got some similar pace. Walmsley seemingly holding a good strong pace compared to the Mercedes driver, but Willows is clearly a lot faster. With DRS and slipstream, he should get a good move here. Walmsley getting on the grass now. Willows with no DRS actually. For some reason he wasn't within the 1 second gap, so he's just gained through slipstream. But very deep goes Walmsley now, which gives Willows a better exit. He's going to have to use his traction to try and go up the inside. A little bit of contact maybe, but he runs wide, Walmsley, and that puts Willows up into P19, and he holds it nicely and maturely. Walmsley down in P20, not what he wants. He's trying to make his way through the pack, and what's the worst thing that could happen? Well, you lose a position to a rival driver who is talking to you in a Skype call now. Pit Matt coming through. He's got Bottas next up, and you can see Glazebrook isn't exactly a massive gap behind him. A 128.2 is Matt's fastest lap. He says a 128.9, still in the 128s, which is crucial. 7
7 temps down on Bottas. He has to come into the pits this lap, whether he decides to agree with it or disobey it. We'll find out in a minute. DRS open. Still, obviously got that 7 temps gap, but Slipstream. Slipstream and the just pure DRS pace now. There's a lock-up from Bottas. This is surely going to give Orange an advantage. Glazebrook is going to try and take advantage of this. He's going to just, hopefully when Orange is stuck behind him, just closing that gap a little bit. So when it comes to the pit stop stages, catch him. The Mercedes-powered engine is going to be a lot more significant to the Red Bull Renault racing teams. Up the inside, it seems to be a driver's favourite to cut that corner because the AI just stick it on there. 3 temps down. Glazebrook 5.1 seconds. Keep an eye on that because that could be drastically shorter within the next sector split. Now, Bottas not getting the best line, and Matt Orange he didn't even get a good line through there either. A bit of a back end wheel spin. Doesn't give him the traction he wants now. As you can see, coming to the fast left-hander where Cosmos, Joshua Anderson got a great move. Now, that's a great line from Matt Orange now. He's going to have the slipstream. He's going to have just pure speed. A little bit of lag from Bottas. It's going to make him a little bit tentative. 2 temps gained by Glazebrook in that middle sector. And Matt Orange, fantastic overtake on Bottas. Nice and clean. Very, very nice for the lead of the Grand Prix, and Matt Orange is leading for the first time. The first real driver in real life who is leading. Now, will he come into the pit lane? He's decided to go against it, getting a little cheeky corner cut there. But he's not going in the pits, and Glazebrook isn't going in the pits either because he is scheduled for lap 7 now. He needs to try and game on Matt Orange. That's the most important thing for him. You can see now, Joe Willow's now gaining on Adrian Cecil. You can see there's a bit of a gap, 1.4 seconds to F1 Petrolhead, also known as Jake Walmsley. Now, great, he's going to have DRS, he's going to have to use Slipstream as well. Surely this has got to be a done deal. It's a Mercedes Works car versus a Sauber Ferrari. I believe it's Ferrari. And up the inside, nice move from Willows, but keeping it clean, good traction, and that's him up an extra position as he tries to make his way through the pack. On board now with Joshua Anderson. You can see cars coming out of the pits now as he goes round the outside of John-Eric Vergne. Cosmos is on some very interesting overtaking moves today. He's doing some great overtaking with the AI. Sadly though, it's not in the most competitive position in the world now. Lap 7 is the lap time that, is the lap that pitmat Bottas and also Glazebrook will be coming into the pits now. His tyres seemingly are dead. He's going to go for a set of primes. Can you blame him? There goes Glazebrook now. Will he actually hold up Matt Orange? This is important. Now, Orange coming out very cheekily just in front of him. What sort of time will Glazebrook have? We're not going to probably... Oh, wait, we're going to see. It's a 3.8, I'm going to assume, because that's the time that you normally get on this game. Orange comes out just ahead of Bottas, but it's enough room, and he's in a comfortable position as it is now. It's going to be one of them moments when you're going to have to hope that if you're Glazebrook at this point in time, just to try and just chip away at the gap to Bottas. You know, it's one of them things. Side by side now, in comes Joshua Anderson. So he's coming into the pits, and there goes Willows, who pitted on lap 1. So he won't be making another stop again. So this is really important for him as Joshua Anderson is actually making a few additional edits to his settings clearly. So Willow's coming around the final corner. He's going to have some great traction. Sadly though for him, his tyres will be really bad at the end of the race now. He's coming down the straight. Cosmos surely going to get a better run. He's out of the pits already, but Willows is very, very close to him. There he goes. Willows goes past him. Breezes past him now. And that is Willows up ahead of Joshua Anderson. So Willows on a great revival race now. Really bringing it back from the dead. You know, if without that, I reckon he would have had the pace maybe for a podium because he's showing some good signs today. He's beaten Petrolhead and he's also doing well now against Joshua Anderson. So Walmsley can't handle him at the moment and couldn't handle him, sorry, and neither seemingly can Joshua Anderson now. Coming around the final corner comes Joshua Anderson. He's trying to keep up with Willows, but that Mercedes is going to have so much more pace compared to the Red Bull Renault Racing car now. Bottas and Glazebrook are going to be battling, but this just means Matt Orange can just walk with it now, coming through this fast left-hand corner. You know, he's going to just breeze it now, just save his tyres. I don't think he's going to be caught that significantly now. Glazebrook fastest in the middle sector, as you would expect with that Mercedes-powered Mercedes Works car with that beautiful Mercedes engine in the back. Valtteri Bottas now is just very, very close to him, but you can see on the minimap he's going up to a lap car, and I can tell you that's Jake Walmsley, who's pitted again. He's on a 2-stop, so it hasn't worked out for him. He's almost at the brink of being lapped. And at the pace the Red Bull of Matthew Orange and the Mercedes of Ollie Glazebrook are going, I reckon he could be lapped very, very shortly with only 6 full laps remaining. DRS open for Glazebrook. Bottas is just ahead. He's going to have to hope Glazebrook that he can gain on him. He hasn't gone faster, but 1.5 seconds isn't even the gap. Come on, did he have DRS open? He did as well. What a move. That is from Glazebrook up the inside of Bottas, and that's him up into P2 now. So you can see on the minimap as well how much of a significant gap Matt Orange is gaining on Petrolhead, which is just really, really uncharacteristic from him. He was having great battles with Willows. Maybe he shouldn't have pitted, maybe he should have saved his tyres a little bit more. Willows is catching up to this very long train. Look at it. You can see Gutierrez is in 14th, and I think it must go to at least P8. But pit Matt now, Matt Orange in the Red Bull with his favourite helmet, opens up the DRS. He's going to be gaining on the car of F1 Petrolhead Jake Walmsley. Now on your screen you can see Bottas ahead of Glazebrook. This is a glitch where Bottas kept on spawning in front of him, and I can tell you that it's just a glitch where it keeps on happening and the timings gets messed up, some form of internet issue or game server issue. But you can see now Matt Orange up the inside of the car in 20th, the Ferrari having a dreadful race. He might as well just forget about it. But during this battle with Bottas and Glazebrook, it seems that Glazebrook is having a ghost car of Bottas keep coming in front of him, which means, you know, he's losing drastic time and can't gain on pit Matt. And you can see a little bit of a ghost there from Gutierrez. Willows will have to take full advantage of this. Obviously, Petrolhead not having the best start to the season. Jake Walmsley is going to have to really bring his A game in Malaysia to score some points after what is a very uncharacteristic Ferrari performance. Now you can see lap 11, we've got side-by-side footage of them two again. It is Joshua Anderson on the right and Willows on the left. They're just making their way through the pack now. Very, very interesting. Look how many cars now. This is some great action. You can watch either side. I'm watching the left-hand side, but now I might as well go to the right because Joshua Anderson is right up there. He's right in the thick of it. So is Willows though. There's a bit of dust coming off of Gutierrez's tyres now. And if you look at Willow's tyres, he's pretty much dead, but he saved them very nicely, so it should be okay come the end of the race. Maybe he might lose out a few positions. Both of them got DRS open. Yeah, I think at this rate Cosmos might gain a bit of time. Cosmos having a bit of an issue. He spun round and Cosmos has lost out dramatically. He has got DRS, but I don't think that's going to get him into the race. Now bouncing off the walls, Willow's actually coming off rather nicely there, which a bit of a disappointment for Cosmos. Joshua Anderson there, you know, on lap 12. I don't think he's going to be regaining. Here's a replay. You got a larger version now up the inside of Gutierrez. He sticks it, but he gets. It's very similar to the turn 1 incident where he tries to get traction on the grass or just bits of tarmac that you don't find traction on, and it's just not worked out for him, and he's been spun round down a few positions now. You can see there's Walmsley. Look at that. That is very, very close. He brakes very, very late there. Glazebrook having to take evasive action, and that is just unbelievable. So Walmsley, but look, Bottas has spawned and there's Walmsley, so this is what keeps happening. Up the inside goes Glazebrook, and that's him now, surely for the last time up into P2, but he comes around, gets some brilliant traction there. Many people struggle around that corner, but he's seemingly finding something so beautiful with his car now. And yeah, here comes Petrolhead. This is his view of what happened, so you can just see that there's some form of internet connection. No dive bomb, and he stays behind him. It's a little bit strange that the game does this, but you know, this is the way it is, and it's just a little bit of a glitch for the game. And here comes Glazebrook now, and obviously he's on Glazebrook's screen. He's ahead of him, and up the inside, a bit of a dive bomb. And apparently that's what Petrolhead thought happened, but that didn't happen on Glazebrook's stream, so something's going on there. Hopefully that'll be sorted for the next race. As Willows up the inside of Kvyat. Great move from Joe Willows, putting him up into P10 now, so he's up into the cheeky points playing positions. Mass is ahead, Hulkenberg, and I think that might be, it is the Ferrari of Bobby Hunter, who sadly we don't have full footage of. We could only show you the first corner. We don't. His quality wasn't good enough, as I mentioned in the intro section of this video, as Willows doesn't improve, but it's still a 30-second dead time. Cosmos, of course, struggling on them, clearly struggling for traction through this first corner, so we're going to have to hope for his sake he can get it well. He gets on the power nice and early there, and that gets him a decent line, but he almost makes an error there. That is dreadful. He seemingly got some severe understeer, which is just causing him to have some really, really bad issues. Now, you can see Willows' tyres are just coming off, and he's up into P9 as Bottas has retired from the Grand Prix, and we got a replay. This is from earlier on, so this is how close it was, and I had to edit this part out, and you can see this actually happened. Walmsley takes out Bottas, and that's Bottas out the Grand Prix, so Glazebrook now is officially in P2 without any shadow of a doubt. Now Willows is gaining on the pack, and there's a very slow car going through there. Willows has to try and pounce on that opportunity. Who is it? That's Nico Hulkenberg. Willows, I don't think he's got DRS. Going to have to use slipstream with that Mercedes. The only thing is that car and its tyres are struggling now. The tyres are just dead. He can't get up the inside. Maybe he should have just dive bombed it, stuck it there, and he would have got the position. But he's going to have to stick with P9, it seems now. There's Kvyat's all over the back of him. This isn't great for Willows. He should have just dive bombed it, in my opinion. You know, if he would have kept it on the track, it would have been a fair enough overtake. But He didn't want to ruin Hulkenberg's race, which is fair enough. No corner cut there. It seems to be the first time we've ever seen that now. If he keeps in the DRS, though, when it comes to the back straight, he could be within that 1 second gap, which could really be important to him now. And you can see he's taking it very nicely. Hulkenberg's struggling, but Willow's he's got a bit of backhand wheel spin. The tyres are pretty much dead. If I was him, I would probably save these tyres, maybe keep the move going. He's very, very close, and he's in a battle. He's gone green, so he's improving, and you can see he's got a lot of understeer through there. He's on the grass. That's not going to be the most helpful thing. And there's a car off the track there. I don't know who that was. There was definitely a car spun around off the track, and that puts him up into P7 now. So he's battling. So 2 cars have gone off there. So Willow's up into P7, so he's definitely made a few improvements there. Hulkenberg, though, I'm not sure whether he'll be within a second, so Kvyat could be the danger for him. Here's Cosmos, Joshua Anderson's point of view of this now, so he's coming through. He's got some decent pace, seemingly. There's Kevin Magnussen as he makes another mistake, it seems, with this traction. He has traction control off, as I believe all of the drivers should do. If not, they will do with medium. If not, they have medium. And Joshua Anderson, I don't know what it is, but he's just struggling for traction, and he's got severe understeer. It's just not his day. You know, he's had 3 mistakes, really. As you can see now, lap 15, Orange isn't struggling with any understeer or any traction issues. What a sensational drive. And also, what a sensational drive for John-Eric Verne. It is a Red Bull 1, Mercedes clearly going to come home in 2. And maybe even John-Eric Verne in P3, so it could be the sister team just outshining Joshua Anderson this time. Maybe Verne will get the new spot in Red Bull in this series. You never know, it's not going to happen. Matthew Orange comes around the final corner. He's flicking his wheel left and right. He celebrates. He has won the first round of the 6-player career mode. Ollie Glazebrook comes home in 2nd position for another very interesting performance. A great, very consistent, getting 2nd place. That keeps him in the championship as he tries to move on to Malaysia to try and get his first win. And Jake Walmsley comes home in 19th, lap down. Very poor and dismal from him. And Joe Willows couldn't keep up with Hulkenberg. His tyres were dead. You know, with that strategy he did after lap 1, you have to give him props. That was a great drive from him, and especially the fact is, you know, there's not exactly a train behind him. He kept the pace in that Mercedes very well. And Joshua Anderson, you know, you have to give him props. He did well. It's just a few traction issues at the end of the day, and Bobby Hunter comes home in P16. So this is your race classification. Orange comes home in 1st from Glazebrook, John-Eric Verne, Jenson Button, Roman Groves on Hulkenberg, Willows, and you got Walmsley, Joshua Anderson, and Bobby Hunter, who was down in 13th position. After he got a penalty, it was taken away. Guys, if you have enjoyed them, please remember to leave a like down below. Subscribe to all of the guys. They'll be in the links in the description. Please do leave a like and comment to me how I can improve this. I really enjoyed doing this. So yeah, please leave a like, and I will see you guys next time. And congratulations to Matthew Orange.